Let's talk about this Washington Commander. The sale has now been finalized. LaVar, we all know you were drafted to the then Washington Redskins, which is now the Commanders. Your thoughts on that, Plaxico? Josh Harris now, and did RG3 become a part of that bid?
Yeah, is it
Just
part
your
of the group?
thoughts on the sale now that Daniel Snyder is no longer a part of that fraternity that is an NFL owner.
I just hope the franchise can move on. I hope the franchise can push. I hope these new owners understand.
You want to mend fences, LaVar? We got to figure out how we can get you
I don't
back
have any
ingratiated with the franchise, bro.
I don't have any fences to mend.
You got it. It was some type of animosity.
Yeah, towards the owner.
So now we got to mend fences.
I never had any issues with the fan base. I never had any issue with the team itself. Just the owner. It's just the owner, TJ. So, here's the thing. That fan base, my daddy's from Virginia. He's from Rocky Mount, Virginia, all right? And people don't realize that there is a Rocky Mount, Virginia, but there is a Rocky Mount, Virginia. And so my whole family pretty much grew up the same way that everybody else down that eastern seaboard grew up. They either Redskins fans, which was growing up, now they're the Commanders, or your Dallas fans. That's for some strange reason, that's just what it has always been. Now you get some sprinkled in, some Carolina Panther fans here and there, but for the most part, it's Dallas and Washington. So I have had a love affair with Washington since I was a kid. Outside of the Steelers, Washington was the team that we watched the most, and Dallas. So I grew up on that. I've always it was interesting when I got drafted by Washington. You get drafted to Chocolate City. It's where my family is. My dad was at Walter Reed Hospital when he was recovering, when he came back from being injured in Vietnam. There's just so much connective tissue to D.C. for me and my family. My mom and dad still live in Upper Marlboro. My brother lives in Nova. He lives out in Northern Virginia. My younger brother, he lives in Upper Marlboro as well. So my ties and my connections, I opened a restaurant there. I spent over $3 million of my own money to put businesses in our community in D.C. I've done countless amounts of things in our communities there, and I've never stopped, TJ. I never stopped serving and supporting my community. I just stopped being vocal and stopped being out in the front as it applied to the team because I just didn't bang with the owner. So I don't feel like I need to mend any fences. I hope that this ownership group that comes in understands, the value of what this community represents and works to incorporate them into, moving forward into the future of what the franchise represents. I think that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, man. To say that Daniel Snyder is no longer a part of this ownership, man, he's $6 billion richer. So
yes,
I think that he'll be doing just fine somewhere on his yacht off the Amalfi Coast somewhere.
Hell of a door prize.
Relaxing and chilling. But just like LaVar said, man, I'm from Virginia. And, all we got was Washington and Dallas. I remember back when I was 7, 8 years old when the St. Louis Cardinals were a part of the NFC East way back when, and Stump Mitchell and Rob Moore and all of these guys and Otis Anderson. And this Washington, D.C. fan base deserves better. If you know, like I know, the real Washington, D.C. is behind the White House. Mm-hmm. That's the real D.C. And they have one of the most loyal fan bases in all of sports. I don't care what sport it is. That's just how this fan base rocks with this team and this organization, and it's refreshing that you look on your social media and you look on the TV, and all of these lifelong fans are excited about the next chapter of this organization, being that just one man is out of this organization, and that's Daniel Snyder, and that's unfortunate. So hopefully for them, they can continue to get better And I believe that, Josh Harris and this ownership group, along with Magic Johnson, will improve the workplace, the workspace for the employees, which is most important, and put a product out there that can compete every Sunday and compete to win the NFC East or maybe a world championship moving forward. But I'm just excited for, I know a lot of people that I grew up with who are diehard Washington fans. And all we got back then when I was growing up, man, when I fell in love with the game of football, it was because of one person. And that man's name was Art Monk. And my mom was an avid, I'm talking about, she was a Washington fan through and through. She loved Art Monk, Gary Clark, and the Fun Bunch, and Doug Williams and Darryl Green and all those guys. Back then, we didn't have cable. So we sit on our crates and watch Sunday football, and we had 3 channels. It was 3, 10, and 13. And whatever game was on television, we didn't have any professional teams in Virginia. And every Sunday, I would sit there and just watch the Washington Commanders, then Redskins, play football on Sunday because that was all we got. And I said to myself, I don't know who this man is that is running around with the same color skin as me. He's diving all over the place. He's jumping up in the air and making, these beautiful catches. It was like a work of art. And my mom would go crazy. And I said, you know what? If this man can make my mom feel like this, I want to try to give her the same joy.
Speak of running around.
I started playing
this
wide
way
receiver.
off subject. Hey, just for y'all listening, man, LaVar and Plaxico's sons, man, them boys can play some damn football. They be sending me video of they boys playing. Goodness gracious, them boys could play.
Hey,
them
bro,
boys
I didn't know.
play.
Listen.
They can play now.
I'll say this. I knew my boy was destined to be some type of a defender. I don't know why. I felt that way. I don't what would make me come to that conclusion, but that's just what it was. But it was interesting. One summer when we went as a family and took a little family vacation at a little state dip, and you had him running routes. And I didn't think nothing of it. And for what it's worth, it's his 8th grade year, his 9th grade year, he drops the ball. He's a big thinker. He drops the ball. But I just think back to that time y'all was running routes in the backyard. Bruh, the dude might end up being a receiver.
He might outgrow the position if he
he might have to be he could be a tight end. They got him playing tight end. They got him playing. He's so smooth though.
Plex son has so much creativity in his release game,
clean,
bruh. Oh
clean.
My God!
I mean, he's a receiver. He's a receiver.
Those one-on-ones that I send y'all, those are my teach tape for him.
Bro, his creativity for his age, because one-on-ones and anything at the line of scrimmage is a lot of creativity and being able to stay calm in those situations. At that age, his ability to have that type of creativity, you don't see that. And I'm not surprised because, again, you played at such a high level that he's been hearing this so long that it's all starting to make sense now.
I'm going to tell you the funniest thing about what you're saying, though, is his personality makeup, Elijah's personality makeup is the same as Cruz. They if you were to be around them and see how they are it's the same exact type of deal. Mm-hmm. The way they're wired, like the way they respond to you, and it's like you look at them like it's almost like you don't want to say they little arrogant little dudes. You know what I mean?
Have a little arrogance, man.
But they got a little bit of that little bit of something to them.
Bit of that.
They kind of the same dude, so I'm
you gotta have a little edge to you, man.
And we see Lil Crew killing them in the flag as well.
I mean, he's so young. He's so young that what he doing? He's so. I mean, the way he built, you would think Plaxico is daddy. The way he built him.
Is you the
right?
Whoa.
I didn't ask you that.
Bro, my son
I
9
didn't
years
ask you for
old,
that.
bro. He 9 years old. Plaxico wears size 9.5 shoe.
Get out of here.
Yeah. 9 years old, third grade.
Oh my greatness. Well, he gonna have some flounders.
Bro, like he like 5'2".
He gonna have some flounders.
Bro, it's unreal. Unreal.
But,
hey,
but
before
for
we
what
get
it's
going,
worth,
go ahead, LaVar.
before we transition, you know what? I wish the Washington D.C. football faithfuls, like, I wish them so much well, man. Like, it's so, like, I love them so much. Like, my heart for them has always it's always been straight love for them. And you know what? They, like you said, Plex, they deserve to have an opportunity to be happy again. Like, I'm not saying you got to win Super Bowls or anything like that. All I'm saying is can the football – it would be nice for the football to matter again. And I hope that that's where, you know, things are, is that this man releasing this team from what it's been, you know, captive of for all these years. I really hope and I believe for the fan base, this will be a great moment in time for them to be able to move forward and just be happy about having an escape to see their local team or the team that they're rooting for, you know, compete and play football, and it be about football, you know, not about all of these.
It's gonna take some
schemes
time.
and,
We know it's gonna take some time. It'll take some time, but I believe with the president in place, the changes in this new ownership, the changes are heading in the right direction. Wish the best for them. The NFL is better when this franchise is competitive,
Absolutely.
doing things the right way, treating people the right way.
Absolutely.
So let's see what happens. Wish them nothing but the best.